Okay, welcome back to Pro Mindset. I've got a special guest today, Mike Marchese from the University of Illinois. Mike, welcome to the show today.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks for having me.
All right, Mike, so I want to give you a due introduction. You're a tight end from the University of Illinois. You're eligible for the draft coming up this weekend. You've got a lot of teammates that you're going to be watching as well, including yourself, go through this process. You might even have a teammate drafted in the top 10 on Thursday night. Um, you come from a family of football people. Your father played D1 football at Iowa. You have three brothers, a twin that all played D1 football. So, um, did you have any choice but just to play football? I mean, I saw where you played baseball in high school, but was it football or nothing?
Yeah, I mean, really just growing up in a house that values football so much, like it was almost a given, really. Um, yeah, just growing up, always playing football. Like I played baseball. I really enjoyed baseball. Um, Growing up, I also played other sports like basketball and like soccer and stuff like that. But football was really like my main passion. Always growing up and just wanting to play.
So your dad played for Hayden Fry, a very decorated Big Ten coach for the University of Iowa. But
Mhm.
I noticed that of the four boys, four sons, only one went to Iowa. So is that the favorite son, or what's the deal with this Iowa thing?
Yeah, so he's a legacy. Uh, he uh, he was actually the only one that receives a scholarship offer out of high school. I was offered a walk on, um, but I didn't go there. Much respect to like Kirk Ferentz and all them. Like I feel like I've known them my entire life just because of my dad. Kirk Ferentz was the O line coach when my dad was there, so uh, I feel like I've known him forever. But yeah, I don't know if he's a favorite son, but there's definitely a side to him that, his Iowa roots, are still strong for. So it's kind of worked out that way. Honestly, we grew up Iowa fans. So like I've been to Iowa City numerous times. Um, good program over there, good people. So uh, no hard feelings or anything like that. You know, they're good guys over there.
Mike, based upon your history of being an Iowa fan, your father playing at Iowa, you guys grew up wanting to be Hawkeye fans. You decided to go to University of Illinois down in Champaign. Um, what did it feel, just out of curiosity, what did it feel like as a freshman walk on playing in your first game and not being in an Iowa uniform?
Honestly, it was kind of crazy. Like every time we played them, specifically them, um, I mean, it just kind of brought me back to my childhood because I feel like I've been somewhat a part of that program for so long, even though I wasn't. Um, and I've like grown to know a bunch of people over there, even like Henry's teammates and stuff that are I'm good friends with now. Um, so every game was kind of cool, just playing them and like, I just know a bunch of people over there. So it was a little weird at first, but it was all competition at the, once kickoff started. So we are just trying to win, and unfortunately, they got the best of us 5 out of my 6 years there. So um, yeah, I mean it. There were some tough times there, but for Illinois, but we got this last one, so hopefully we can keep that going.
You played for Lovie Smith initially, and then you finished your final couple seasons with Brett Bielema, who's a Hawkeye as well. So you reconnected with Iowa through the coach, through your head coach eventually.
Yeah, hearing his perspective was pretty crazy. Like, I just kind of connected with everything that he was saying, like with his background with Hayden Fry and a bunch of people. Like, wow, it's like I already know this.
Well, you earned a scholarship under Bielema's watch, fair?
Yep,
Like his first spring ball, was it his first spring ball that you got a scholarship?
yep.
Okay. So kind of describe when you look back and, down the road, you're going to have a wife and kids, and they're going to be asking you about your college experience. How would you describe your experience at the University of Iowa or University of Illinois in terms of like how it finished? Because how it started, you probably would have rather been on scholarship. You started at safety, you moved to linebacker, then you finished at tight end. You did a lot of stuff. You're on both sides of the ball. You were in the club, you're not in the club, all those kind of things that some people on the stands don't really understand until you're in a locker room. You had to you had to earn mad respect as a walk on to actually play as a freshman, which I don't think a lot of people understand. So kind of describe that. How would you describe it to your kids? How would you describe it to a son?
Yeah, I mean, number one, I wouldn't change anything the way it went. It just kind of made me who I am today and the perspective that I have on certain things. Um, just coming in, like, my brother was there actually, so I got to play with my brother for 2 years, and he helped me a lot. So I give him a lot of credit for my development early on with our short time together there. I'll just say that I really enjoyed it. Um, I worked hard at everything that I did, and to survive as a walk on or even just as a scholarship player, like you have to work hard, you got to be dedicated. And I feel like I kind of took that approach every single day because I had to earn it every day. Even when they gave me more playing time, it was just, I'm still the walk on, like I'm on a short leash. Anything can happen. So, just day in, day out, just earning it, putting in the good work, and um, just really attacking the day. Like, no matter what happens, like you're gonna have ups and downs, and probably majority of them are gonna be down days. Just got to keep going. Like it's just part of the journey, and at the end of the day, it worked out for me, and I'm sure I speak for a lot of walk-ons out there, honestly. Um, so it's a good experience, and it's really like made me more mature and um, look at things from a different perspective that I can apply later in my life, whether that's in football or outside of football.
No doubt about it. There are a lot of guys that are going to get drafted this weekend in the NFL draft that were walk-ons. And I think everybody thinks only the 4 and 5 star guys are the ones that have success in the draft, have success in the NFL. But there's a tremendous number of guys that are no stars, low stars, or walk-ons that are successful in the NFL. What would be your rationale or reason for something like that? Why do you think walk-ons sometimes go farther than the guys that are high starred?
I mean, I think really early you just understand that your time isn't, you're basically expendable, really. You know, some guys with the 4 and 5 stars and scholarship and stuff, they're not maybe not as expendable just because they have more of a chance. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think it's just it gets to a mental standpoint where you're just gonna keep fighting and putting in good work and being dedicated and being a great teammate and uh, all those things add up. And when you do it consistently over and over and over, you're really building something for yourself and for your team. Um, I think that hits home really, really quick, maybe more so than a scholarship player. But I'm not really sure. I don't have the perspective as a scholarship player, coming in from high school. Um, but yeah, I would just say like the mental approach, just having that mindset of just got to go day by day and um, don't take anything for granted because it could all be taken away at any second.
Well, I think one of the most difficult things for guys that are walk-ons or undrafted players when they go to the NFL or uh, walk-ons in college is the idea that you have to believe when other people don't believe in you. You have to have this uber belief. You have to have this like just 100%. You have to be 100%er and not a 99.9er when it comes into believing who you are. And there's a lot of times when a walk-on believes and the coach don't. And so over time, the athlete has a choice. Am I going to buy into what the coach thinks, or am I going to stay the course and keep believing in who I am? And I think the ones that keep believing in who they are the ones that make it. They're the ones that get on scholarship. They're the ones that get on the field, become captains and new players for their teams. And the same process is almost identical when you go to the NFL because you're told who you are. You're not enough of this. You're not fast enough. You're not big enough. You're not. Your skill set doesn't match up. That's what the NFL does, and your belief is tested. And if you can hold tight onto what your belief is, you can do the same thing in the NFL that you did in college. So how does that resonate with you? How does that sit with you in terms of you believing in yourself, perhaps maybe when their coaches didn't believe in you?
Yeah, I mean, you got to have that belief. If you don't, you're defeated already. Um, you're just gonna fizzle out and not make a name for yourself. So you really have to believe in even during those downtimes, like I talked about earlier. It's just you still got to believe in who you are and what you can do, and that's just part of it. That's just part of the life that it is as a student athlete and just an athlete in general. Um, so like if you don't believe in yourself, then why even do it? Like you're already done. So um, I have been tested like that. I'm sure a lot of athletes are like that too. Um, not even as a walk on, but even scholarship players too. Um, your belief gets tested. So um, just being strong minded, strong willed, believing in who you are, um, it just goes a long way in making you who you are and what kind of player you are.
Well, Brock Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant last year in the draft, and he made it as the third string quarterback for the 49ers. And when he finally got his opportunity through multiple injuries, I mean, he led them to the NFC Championship game. And I mean, the GM the other day said that he's our guy. Yet they traded so much draft capital a couple years ago to move up to draft uh, Trey Lance in like the top three, and yet Brock Purdy's their guy.
Mm-hmm.
And Brock Purdy was told he wasn't tall enough. He wasn't his arm strength wasn't enough. He was one pick from not getting picked, and yet he was in the top half of quarterbacks in the NFL last year. So I think he's a great representative of somebody that believed in himself and was ready when the opportunity presented itself, and he didn't believe what everybody else thought about him.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the NFL draft. What did you do to prepare for the draft? What did you do in preparation for your pro day at Illinois?
Yeah, so I worked out at TC Boost. They got me prepared for all the combine drills that we were going to do. There was 5 days a week, uh, double sessions. Like we're going. You get one shot at it, and they really prepared me for everything that the pro day had. Um, so I was doing that. I'm living at home right now. I'm still in school too. Um, so I've been doing that like after the workouts and stuff like that, and I kind of took my mind off things. Sometimes during the pro day prep, you get lost in thought. So being at home and still being in school kind of relieved that for me. Um, but yeah, that's kind of what I did, and um, going back to that belief thing, you got to believe that you're going to go out there and perform well, and I think I did that. I was really happy with my performance, and uh, I guess it kind of set me up for what's ahead.
Okay, so after the draft's over and you have an NFL team, what can that team expect from you when you show up for OTAs and show up for rookie training camp
Hmm.
at the end of the summer?
Just a tough, smart, dependable football player. A guy that can play anything, anywhere. Like you mentioned before, like I've played safety in my career, played linebacker, tight end. Really, I played fullback too. Um, so whatever you need me to do, I'm willing to do. Like I feel like I'm pretty versatile and have a high football IQ and just kind of a plug and play guy. And obviously that goes without saying with with special teams. Like I played special teams all my career, and I freaking love special teams. Um, Really, I just love playing football, and that's kind of who I guess made my career out of, just a guy that's willing to play. Um, Anything, whatever the coaches say, you know. Um, so yeah, I think just being a tough, smart, dependable football player is really big. Um, with a high football IQ, that's willing to play. Versatile athlete that uh, whatever you want me to do, I'm willing to do.
I know that if somebody drafts you, you'll show up. But if you could pick a team, which team would you like to play for? You a Bears fan because you're from Chicago? What is your team?
I am a Bears fan, but there are no allegiances when you're in this position. So whatever team drafts me, I'll be ecstatic. Even if it's the Packers, um, I would be ecstatic about it. So um, that's the goal. I would love to be drafted, and you know if that's the case, that's awesome. I'll be ready to go, ready to strap up and play football. And even if it isn't, even if I don't, get drafted and happen to sign somewhere, then let's go. I just want an opportunity to play.
What does it do for you and your family if you play in the NFL for 7, 8 years?
I mean, it just changes everything, really. You could look at it from a financial thing if you'd like, just because it's big money, it's life changing money. Um, but really, kind of just like living on the legacy of just the Marchese family football tree. Um, I had a cousin who went through rookie minicamp, I believe. Um, that's as far as he went. So I kind of want to build off that and, um, you know, make a branch that goes even further. So um, just really like living on the legacy of our family and, um, I guess leading the charge in that aspect. My brother's also a free agent right now. So um, maybe he can get a chance and do the same thing with me. So that'd be great, and it would just be life changing. I think like I said, my family loves football and built around football, so it'd be really important for them too.
Absolutely. Well, we've talked about, um, just being ready to be a rookie and not acting like a rookie when you're a rookie, especially given the fact that 90 guys show up for camp and, 37 don't make the 53, 16 hang around in the practice squad. The guys that get cut first typically cut themselves, for lots of different reasons. The number one reason I believe is a lack of belief, because when a player doesn't believe, the coaches don't believe. They don't even understand. They don't even call it belief. They just feel it. But for you, what are your expectations? What is your intentions for what you want to accomplish as a first year player in the NFL?
Obviously, I want to make the team, and whatever opportunity that is, I'm gonna put my best foot forward and um, really, I just feel like I've been through this. Even as a walk on freshman, uh, going to college football, I feel like there's always an eye opening moment. Um, but I feel like I can seize the moment and just play my best football really, and just keep my head down, keep working, and um, build some camaraderie with the guys there, and uh, just keep moving really. Take advantage of my opportunity and study hard and do all the right things that lead to winning.
Absolutely. Let's talk about some of your teammates. So you got a really, really good class from the University of Illinois. Who do you think will be the first guy off the board for the Illini in this year's draft?
Devin Witherspoon, I mean, the guy's a savage. Like, guy is, I was in the DB room with him. I was in the same room, did the same drills as him, so I know Spoon pretty well. Um, I mean, he's just a great kid, like high football IQ, very gifted athletically. And I mean, people saw it this year. Like, the guy's a savage. Um, I'm seeing that he could go within the top 10, and rightfully so. That guy's earned everything that he's gotten. I remember he came in freshman, Pensacola, Florida, weighed like maybe 140 pounds, soaking wet, and he's just grown every single year. And look where he is now. So talk about belief. That guy believed in himself, and uh, along with us, we believed in him too. And he's just a great player, and someone's going to be really happy when they take him.
He's another example of a player that he had no stars, I believe, when he came to Illinois. He wasn't even a 3-star.
Yeah, he almost went to community college before Illinois, but uh, he kind of changed plans and came to Illinois. So it's a crazy story.
That's awesome. When did let's go back down memory lane. When do you first remember kind of falling? Football's a game where it's not fun sometimes, but it's addicting. And when did you first fall in love with football? When did you like go, man, I'm going to be a football player?
Uh, Honestly, watching Iowa football, Chicago Bear football, and then going out there and playing with my brothers and my friends. That's really when I started to fall in love with it, just because I loved the atmosphere and I loved playing and just being active, and it just something that spoke easy to me. So, uh, yeah, I mean, I would probably say that.
Okay. When at the University of Illinois did you feel like you could really play? Because when you showed up and when you were driving down to Champaign to report to school, probably
Mm-hmm.
if you're normal, like you seem pretty normal to me, you're wondering, hey, can I do this? You know, can I ever get a scholarship? Am I ever going to be a player? Am I going to be a special teams guy only, or can I get on the field? Could I ever be a
Mm-hmm.
starter? All those kind of questions. When when was that moment in time at Illinois when you're like, I got this. I'm going to play.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was fall camp, my first fall camp, and I was running scout team, and it was scout team special teams, and that's when the rules changed with like double team and stuff on kickoff and kickoff return, and I was just the guy that smashed the double team really, and I thought I did pretty good at it, and no, I think that was kind of the moment, kind of a weird moment to to think like, yeah, I can play here, um, just smashing double teams and stuff and trying to beat them. But yeah, that was probably the moment. I remember the day. Like it was our two starting linebackers running the double team, and I was the guy that had to split them and beat them. So um, I just put my head down and just like went to work that day, and I was pretty happy with myself the way I did that, and it just kind of rolled over from there. So yeah, scout team, special teams, first fall camp. I knew I could play.
That's why you played in 5 games as a true freshman. There's
Mm-hmm.
no way you would have played at all if you didn't have that belief and have that pivot in your mind that, hey, I can do this. And it took that play, that uh, kickoff coverage on scout team on that particular day in camp for you to go, I got this. I can do this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Pretty surreal, honestly.
What was the biggest adversity you had to overcome in college, on the field, off the field, to get to the point where you're at now, where you have an opportunity to go to the NFL?
Uh, I mean, as an athlete, you deal with a lot. Um, I guess one that kind of sticks out is I guess when other this might sound like selfish, but when other guys got put on scholarship before you did, um, I guess that was more of a mental hurdle for me of like, how come it wasn't me? And, you could think all that and stuff. And I certainly did. Like, how come it's not me? Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, because I was playing like I didn't redshirt, um, and I eventually started at safety my sophomore year. So kind of having that mental hurdle multiple times that happened, it was kind of it would break me down honestly because I thought I was doing everything in my power that even I was playing pretty decent. I thought um, just having that mental hurdle multiple times was pretty big adversity for me, but I just did what I always knew, and it was just get back to work and do what you can and control what you can control, and that's what I did, and it paid off in the end.
Did you have any indication? And I've seen the video of when you got awarded a scholarship by Coach Bielema. Did you have any indication before that? Did you see it coming, or was it a surprise?
It was a surprise because honestly, we had a terrible practice that day, so I thought we were gonna get ripped, and uh, yeah, I coach set it up like we were uh, getting a new drill because like the physicality wasn't good enough that day. So I was like, all right, we're just gonna set up this drill and we're gonna do it tomorrow. Um, so I didn't expect it at all. So it was kind of crazy and just so relieved and really just seeing my teammates happy for me like made it all made it all worth it.
What changed for you after you got the scholarship? What changed in your confidence and your belief, in your relationship with your teammates, your relationship with your coaches, your mojo in the locker room, or was it some? Did it pretty much stay the same as it was before?
You know that whole moment like you got to take it in and kind of embrace it and cherish that moment um, for a little bit. It's almost like winning. It's like it's like 24-hour rule. You celebrate the win, but the next day you got to come back and work. So it was kind of like that. Actually, like right after uh, I got put on scholarship when we broke the team meeting, Coach B asked me to come to his office, and that's when I got switched to tight end. So it changed drastically for me. The position changed. Like, hey, I just put you on scholarship, so now I'm going to change your position. So um, it was. I mean, that I was fine with that. I was like, let's go, let's do it. And yeah, next day I was repping at tight end.
Unbelievable. So I've known Coach Bielema for a long, long time. I represented him when he was in your situation many, many years ago. What what is it about Coach? I mean, he's been successful pretty much everywhere he's been. He's very relatable, has a wonderful relationship with his players. Um, how would you describe Coach? Let's say, for example, you were hosting a recruit,
Mm.
and he said, "Hey, what do you think of the head coach?" What would be your um, like description of Coach Bielema?
I mean, he's just a player's coach, really. I know it may sound cliche, but he's everything that you want in a head coach. Like he supports his players, he supports his staff, and he expects the same out of everyone. Like the standard doesn't change for anyone, um, and he's gonna help you out along the way. Um, and he's very real, very truthful. I think that's all players want to hear is the truth, and he's gonna shoot it straight. Um, Obviously, a great football mind. He's won a ton of games, uh, specifically in the Big Ten. Um, so really, just like putting the belief in the guys that, especially at Illinois when we were down for so long, just putting the belief in us that we can win in this league. Like we can. Like he's going to support us um, in any way possible, whether that's on the field or off the field. He's going to do whatever it takes to take care of his guys, and he truly has done that with me and with multiple other teammates of mine. And he's just a great guy to play for, and um, he means the world to me.
I have a tremendous amount of respect for Coach as well. Let's talk about when you think back about University of Illinois football and your contribution. What was the highlight of your career?
Highlight of my career. Hmm. Highlight of my career would probably just be uh, a lot of it was like this last season because we were winning a ton of games. So really, just winning games is kind of like the highlight of my career because I just think like you and your teammates go through so much that um, I think it's hard to say like highlight of mine is just me. I think it involves everyone. Um, like a just celebrating with my teammates and creating that bond is really special with me. Um, yeah, I would just say like that's the highlight. This last year was really special for us, and seeing the guys that I came in with and the guys that followed my class or our class, whatever. I think just seeing us grow throughout that process is kind of the highlight and putting Illinois football back on the right track, and um, everyone plays a part in that. So that's it was really important for me.
Why is it that you can go out and play golf or go play hoops, and if you win, you win, you don't, you don't. But in football, if you win, it's amazing. And when you lose, it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, football, I mean, football practices after a win are not hard. I don't care how physically challenging it is, it's not hard.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get in one of those rhythms where you get a losing streak, football really stinks.
Yeah,
Why is that?
I think just so much that you put into it, into the preparation. It's not only physical but mental. I mean, it's uh, long days of preparation that prepare you for your opponent, and you know, if you don't come out with the win, it's just tough. You just got to go back to the drawing board, and especially if you're on a losing streak, it's you know those days get long, and it sucks. And unfortunately, that my time in Illinois, we've kind of seen stuff like that. So uh, yeah, I mean, it just sucks. Like it hurts because you put so much into it, and um, you don't get the result that you ultimately want. So uh, yeah, those days just get long, and um, at the end of the day, you just gotta like keep fighting and keep going, and it's kind of just preparing for the next week and preparing to win. That's all you can do.
Let's pretend you have three or four boys. Would you want them to play football? And if so, why or why not?
Yeah, I would want them to play. Um, Obviously, if they don't want to play, then I'm not going to force them to play. But if assuming they want to play, then I will let them play, just because it's just such a different sport. Um, it's very fun. Like you get to play with your friends when you're little, and you go through high school and stuff like that. And then if they're fortunate enough to go through college, it kind of prepares you for life. Um, I kind of took this from someone, I can't remember who, but I saw it online. It's college football is 4 years for the next 40. And that's so true in my mind that football and going through, just being a student athlete is going to prepare you for what's ahead because you're going to have adversity. You're going to have all bunch of different stuff that you have to do. And it's really just learning how to deal with that adversity and, battling and competing. And that's what, in my mind, that's kind of what life is. Like you go through ups and downs, and there's nothing better there's no better sport that shows that than football, in my opinion. I think it's just a microcosm of society because you have all a bunch of different people from different places and different cultures that everyone just comes together in the locker room, and you go out and you try to get that one goal that everyone wants, and that's to win. So I just think football has just great attributes outside of just the game that's gonna carry you throughout life.
Well, there's not very many sports where you literally get knocked down and you got to get
Mm-hmm.
back up. And
Yep.
football's that sport where you can get blindsided, you can get your ass kicked, you can get blindsided by a coach with
Yep.
comments that you didn't expect, and you got no choice but to get back up and fight. And there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
sports that are not like that. So I understand you have a girlfriend.
I do.
Is she in for having like four football boys or anything like that?
Well, we haven't gotten that far. No. I'm a young
How long you guys been? How long you been dating?
uh a year and a half basically.
Holy smokes, that's like an eternity in college.
Yeah. Yeah, we met at Illinois. She's still in school. She's going to be a doctor um in occupational therapy, so she's doing really good. But yeah, we haven't talked about that. We're young kids. Um I'm as of right now I'm a broke college kid and so is she. So, um there's no thought of that right now.
No, it's all good. No, it's all good. Well, it's never too early to start thinking about that. Is she like 6'2", tall, or is she like a 5'2" girl?
She's 5'10".
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
she
good.
she played volleyball in high school. Um, that was like her main sport.
Where's she from?
Bloomington, Illinois.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
All right. Well, that's cool. I got a couple more questions and I'll wrap it up here.
Mm-hmm.
You guys having a party this weekend with some family and friends?
I'm actually gonna go to my teammates' party. I'm gonna stop in for a little bit, and then I'm gonna go. Uh, I gotta go see my grandma, and then I'm just gonna like after all that, I'm gonna sit down and just be at home and watch draft with my parents and my brothers. Really, so nothing crazy.
No, that's cool. That's the smartest way to be,
Hmm.
especially on Saturday.
Yeah.
Thursday and Friday, you can do whatever you want. So, which teammate are you going to go visit?
Alex Pilstrom. He was our center last year.
Gotcha. Is he a former tackle?
He was a tight end.
Tight end.
Yeah, he was also a walk on.
I'll be darned.
Hmm.
Okay. When you look at playing at safety, playing at linebacker, playing some, starting at tight end and playing some fullback, what's the biggest difference between those different positions in football? Is it pretty similar or is there a big difference?
Um, I mean, I would say like linebacker, tight end, fullback are pretty similar. Safety is pretty similar to linebacker. Um, really, just I mean, they're similar in their own ways. Really, um, being a safety, like it's more skill, I guess, instead of the line of scrimmage and stuff like that. So I'd say it's different in that aspect, but uh, linebacker and tight end and fullback, like they're all pretty similar with you know gaps and knowing each other's assignments and what wins games up front and stuff like that. So it was actually a luxury to go to play both sides of the ball because I knew exactly what the defense was trying to do and I know what the offense is trying to do and just kind of uh, knowing how they attack that um, with whatever side of the ball that I was on. So it really kind of just broadened my knowledge of football and uh, just grown my football IQ to where I understand what both sides of the ball are trying to do, and it allows me to kind of process that and kind of attack those weaknesses.
Well, you got to have higher football IQ when you play on both sides of the ball
Hmm.
because of what you just said. You understand what the other side's trying to do.
Hmm.
Let's fast forward to post Super Bowl 2024, and you just finished your rookie season. Now, when you look in your rearview mirror, what did you just see?
I don't know. I
Put it out, put it out there in the universe, the best possible scenario, so that after the Super Bowl, you did whatever you say.
Yeah, I mean, I was on the winning football team. That's at the end of the day. Like I hope I'm on the team that wins the Super Bowl, and I'll do whatever I can to make that happen. And just seeing, when you look back at that year, hypothetically, like I it's kind of like this is what I do and this is what I did, and it's a good springboard into next year. That's all I'll be thinking.
And then where are you going to take your girl on vacation?
uh, I don't know. Probably we went to Florida over spring break, so maybe we'll go out west. Maybe that'll be better.
Go to a beach.
Hey, I love the beach. I'm all for the beach.
Okay. Well, I want to wrap this up, Mike, and say thank you for your time. This is a big week for you and your teammates and all these guys that are getting ready for the draft on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And, the thing I would say from doing this for a long time is that your NFL career is not defined by this weekend. It's defined by your work ethic, your belief, your training, your coachability, your performance once you get there, being a man, being a veteran from the jump. And I have 100% confidence that you've got all those skills. So regardless of which team you go to and whether you get drafted, you don't get drafted, you can have a very successful NFL career if you do a lot of the things that you've already done. So good luck this weekend.
Thanks, Craig. I appreciate it.
I want to thank you for tuning in to Pro Mindset Podcast. If you enjoyed the listen, please leave a 5-star rating. If the message was a vibration you connected with and you have any friends, family, or colleagues who would benefit, then please share this episode with them. You can follow Pro Mindset Podcast on the following social media platforms: Instagram and YouTube, Pro Mindset Podcast; Twitter and Facebook, Pro Mindset Pod; LinkedIn, Pro Mindset. We will drop our shows, Pro Mindset Podcasts, every Wednesday morning, and we invite you to listen and subscribe. Also, don't hesitate to check out our archives to listen to previous shows. And finally, I encourage you to embrace a Pro Mindset truth from today's show. It just might be the key to unlock the pro inside you.